every day, who are single parents, who work with their minds and their hands. I'm glad to hear that we did not limit who would be able to receive these benefits. And also, you crafted the vitality and the vigorous efforts of the Congressional Black Caucus. And so as I close, I would like to just reiterate what our members, including the leadership of our chair, Chairwoman Joyce Beatty, Congresswoman Adams, Congresswoman Watson Coleman, Congressman Evans, obviously Mr. Horsford and Ms. Moore, what you all have said, if I might. And that is, let me reiterate that each piece of the Build Back Better is a piece that is vital for the lives of Americans and African Americans. And so, for example, $550 more in Pell Grants for more than 5 million students. Then HBCUs, again, $10 billion. Seniors, here we are with seniors, which have never had hearing aids. Never had hearing, only 30% of seniors over the age of 70 who could benefit from hearing aids have ever had them. Medicare in this Build Back will include that extra benefit. Many of us have seen the caricatures of our seniors on television or elsewhere trying to hear about, or to hear. That's not anything that's funny, but it's been made light of. I want to give every senior an opportunity to hear. At the same time, I want to emphasize the importance of child care. We're telling the story. Only 26.8% of Black 3 to 4-year-old children are enrolled in publicly funded programs, a publicly funded preschool, with the average cost of preschool for those without access, $8,600. We're going to stop it with this. We're not going to be the Trump trillion-dollar tax cut to the top 1% and putting a deep dive into our deficit. We're going to put a deep investment into the American people, and particularly those people of color. I think it is extremely important that we talk about children in health care. And before, Mr. Speaker, how much time do we have left? Next one.
The gentlelady has about 8 minutes. About 8 minutes.
Thank you. So before I yield to Mr. Horsford, this is a child getting access to health care, but Mr. Speaker, there are many children that don't have access to health care. So for those states whose family were not able to access the Affordable Care Act, and there's something called Children's Health Insurance Program, and that does provide for some aspect of care. We had the federal Medicaid concept, and so Build Back Better now is going to put all of those people under the Affordable Care Act. And that is going to give the family access to health care, which makes a sizable difference. And I think it is extremely important that we do that, to be able to provide family health care. Now, I heard our members be very truthful. We still want to get Medicare reduction of prescription drugs, a system that would allow that. We still want family paid leave. And somebody said that that was continuing to negotiate. No, Mr. Speaker, it is working under the umbrella and framework of President Biden's agenda. And we want to just make sure that all of his agenda within the context of being paid for gets recognized. And so we want this family to receive the kind of resources that are necessary. My colleagues talked about the child tax cut, I'd like to call it that. And I'd just like to be sure that we realize that if this plan is implemented, it may impact 17 million low-wage employees, such as hospitality workers and child care providers, a framework of a tax cut that would help children. And there are people who work important jobs but receive low pay, and this would get nearly 6 million people out of poverty with this kind of cut. This is a crucial contribution. Let me finish with letting you know what we have certainly gone through in Texas. Infrastructure is extremely important. Part of that is housing. During the pandemic, these are the kinds of signs we saw. My landlord is calling, and I must pay, or I'll be evicted. Now, we gave the American Rescue Plan and the CARES Act, but $150 billion will be in for housing, improving the infrastructure of public housing. That hasn't been done in decades, 50 years, I'm told. And we will get that done. That's what's important about the BIF bill, the infrastructure bill that'll have broadband. And those very places where these people live, take the lead out of the pipes. And then, of course, for those of us who live in Hurricane Alley, our friends in Louisiana with Hurricane Ida, my constituents with Hurricane Harvey, and the number of hurricanes that have crossed the United States during 2017, one after another. But we will have in that infrastructure bill a worthy response to the failing infrastructure of this nation. We won't have to worry about what people say about Russia and China or any other country. We will be enormously competitive. And we will have, even to the point of NASA, no one has even expressed their interest in that, they will have a space here to be able to keep us competitive in space exploration. And it will be extremely important that we have the opportunity to stop violence with our community violence investment, $2.5 billion. So I'm delighted to say that this is the work of the Congressional Black Caucus. They put their hands around all of it for our constituents and the American people. And so what Mr. Horsford has been speaking of is that he's proud to give a listing. That's what I did. I did a roll call of just what's going to be helped with Build Back Better and with BIF. And I'm delighted to stand here with the Vice Chair, and I yield to the gentleman.
Well, thank you.